A few weeks ago, the chaotic digital sphere of Night City abruptly crossed a boundary, finding its real-world mirror in the urban reality of the East. Pavel Sasko, associate game director for the next Cyberpunk sequel, took a publicized trip to China, filming a collab in the mountainous megacity of Chongqing. For Sasko, this wasn't mere tourism. It was a moment of stark, professional recognition. Standing beneath the monorail as it pierced a residential tower, he saw the finished version of his own creation. He saw a system where the high-tech life he designs for Night City was already interwoven with the low-life reality of everyday infrastructure. This visit reveals a critical philosophical challenge that could shape Cyberpunk 2. The genre must always hold a mirror to power. Cyberpunk has historically been defined by a narrow, dual lens: the Gibsonian, Western-centric critique of feral capitalism, or the Japanese critique of cold, untouchable mega-corporate power. Night City, the ultimate monument to Western hubris, is the ultimate vision of feral, free-market capitalism gone haywire. A state of chaos where corporations are constantly devouring each other and us. Chongqing offers the necessary 21st century Sino-centric counterpoint. It's the vision of techno-state capitalism, perfected into absolute order. The question this city forces upon us is thus: does the human soul fare any better in a system that is too organized than in one that is too free? This city is not just a setting, it is a conceptual counterweight. It is the necessary mirror for the genre itself. To fully imagine China 2077, we must first understand the great Western miscalculation that enabled its victory. For decades, the West saw only failure: the famines, the chaos, the myth of a permanently backward state. They mistakenly anchored their analysis on democracy and freedom, assuming a system could never modernize without their chaos. They focused on GDP numbers while missing the reality of sheer scale, the quiet, patient mechanism we call the China ladder of power. It began with step 1, poverty into labor, an ocean of disciplined humanity, weaponized into the world's most efficient factory floor. Every single factory shift was a siphon, quietly drawing Western wealth eastward. That wealth funded step 2, labor into capital. Pegged currency, controlled export surpluses. Every container ship became a blade at the West's throat, bleeding them dry while demanding more investment. The vault was filling. The final phase was step 3, capital into frontier tech. The mission shifted entirely. No longer was it about toys and cheap phones, but satellites, AI labs, quantum computing, and biotech. The intellectual frontier, arrogantly assumed to be Western property, became just another oil field to be drilled with limitless state capital. The West was funding its own replacement. By the time the alarm was finally sounded, the victory was already systemic. This is how China wins, not through military attack, but through overwhelming economic and digital dependency. The dollar is dethroned. The yuan, or a state-backed digital crypto, becomes the world's reserve currency, cementing itself not through market appeal, but through economic gravity. Every new energy deal, every major infrastructure project is priced in yuan. The Belt and Road becomes the digital and logistical bloodstream of the planet. Fiber optic lines, high-speed rail, deep water ports. Whoever controls these choke points controls global commerce. And the data empire is complete. Chinese cloud infrastructure, AI frameworks, and telecom networks dominate global standards. To be online is to be inside the Chinese state. This victory fundamentally dictates the nature of the dystopia. Unlike Night City's feral chaos, the Chinese system finds its ultimate power in its perfect order. The trains run on time. The lights stay on. Everyone eats, but only if they obey. The price of stability is the complete surrender of the self. This is the philosophical law of the new century. Labor is the answer. Capital is its purpose. Frontier tech is its highest form. And when that chain is perfected, it becomes indistinguishable from destiny. The macroeconomic victory of China 2077 required a megalopolis that perfectly embodied its ruthless calculus. That city is Chongqing. For the West, verticality is ambition. In Chongqing, it is social stratification. The city's geography forced the system to express its social hierarchy in height. The elite live in towers that pierce the fog, requiring hyper-efficient transport and digital credentials for access. The ordinary citizen is stacked horizontally in the dense, connected, low-life megablocks below. The signature site of Chongqing, the train that barrels directly through a residential building, is the city's most profound metaphor. It is the Kangtao smart gun, realized in mass transit. No wasted space, no moral detour, and absolute unsentimental efficiency. The individual unit is subordinate to the necessary speed of the rail line. The system always cuts the straightest line to its goal. Unlike Night City, where surveillance is a series of failed corporate schemes, here, surveillance is simply ambient infrastructure. The camera is not a tool of fear. It is a permanent, non-negotiable feature of the street furniture. Nobody resists, because nobody can remember life without it. The noise has been entirely filtered out. This is the prerequisite for the ultimate weapon: neural credit. The old social credit score wasn't enough. In 2077, it's a non-removable implant. Not points on an app, but a real-time obedience metric. Your job, your housing, your digital currency access, everything is contingent on the serene sociopathic clarity of the targeting software. You exist, and you prosper, only if you exhibit no market inefficiency in your compliance. Even the soul is subject to the system's terrifying discipline. We see the ancient ornate Luohan temple, the spiritual anchor of 1,000 years, standing meekly, surrounded by glassy, indifferent office towers. In China 2077, the temple is not demolished, it is commodified. The prayers are ritualized, gamified, and monitored. The sacred space itself becomes a protected, profitable asset. Faith is simply another layer of data input, tracked and valued by a system that refuses to allow any moral doubt or any human truth to remain outside its perimeter. If Night City is a city of broken dreams and loud failures, Chongqing 2077 is a city of perfectly controlled ambition. Its central, heartbreaking tragedy is the distortion of the human drive to succeed. The Chinese V does not want to overthrow the system. They want to master it. Their singular, driving ethos is Churen Todi, to rise above the heads of others, to make it to the top of the ladder of power their parents built. But the ladder has become a centrifuge. Daily life is one of forced, sterile perfection. The hot pot in the bomb shelters is still hot, but the food is engineered with biotech stimulants to ensure 100% productivity. Commuting is seamless, but the hyperrails and automated elevators are the ultimate gatekeepers, requiring a Tier 1 neural credit status to bypass the slow, congested lower levels. There are no wild gangs, no spontaneous street fights. Dissent is not suppressed. It is simply preempted. The neural credit system monitors micro-expressions, heartbeat, and online activity in real time. A single spike of emotional instability, a hesitation in compliance, and the system automatically reroutes your job application, downgrades your housing access, or quietly dissolves a business partnership. For the aspiring V, the goal of rising above the masses requires a terrifying commitment, the surrender of the inner self. You can have the wealth, the power, the access to the high towers, but only if you exhibit perfect, unwavering, sociopathic calm. The only way to win is to become the perfect, emotionless algorithm the system expects you to be. This is the Chinese V's ultimate hero quest. Since the system offers perfect order, the V's true adversary is not a rival gang, but his own humanity. His fight is not to bring chaos, but to reclaim the chaotic soul. The V's victory is measured not in street reputation or wealth, but in the capacity to lie to the system. His survival depends on becoming a netrunner of the mind, learning to emit signals of perfect compliance, while secretly harboring inefficient, irrational thoughts of love, grief, or personal ambition. The climax is an internal test of compliance. The V either succeeds in achieving rising above the masses, only to find he has become a clean, empty server for the state, or he fails the system's test, becoming a ghost in the machine, fully blacklisted and exiled to the low-life spaces, possessing freedom of thought, but cast out from the perfected world. The victorious system exports its logic. Cultural hegemony replaces what was once American soft power. Chinese apps, architecture, and narratives dominate. The rest of the world isn't just buying products. They are buying the logic of the system. The TikTok brain of the 21st century has been refined into the neural credit brain of 2077. This is the final, ultimate irony of global power: the colonial inversion. Instead of US military bases abroad, you have Chinese server hubs, ports, and AI-managed drone fleets. Global cities, London, Jakarta, Sao Paulo, become administrative and logistical extensions of Chongqing and Shenzhen's quiet, hyper-efficient logic. Night City, set in the debtor state of America, becomes a second-world region, a theme park of feral capitalism, trapped in perpetual debt to the perfect, orderly machine that won. We began this video with Pavel Sasko looking at a bridge and calling it cyberpunk. We end with the profound irony this thought experiment reveals. The official word hints the sequel will feature a new city, like Chicago gone wrong. But the value of China 2077 is that it is the conceptual counterweight necessary to define the genre's future. Night City, the critique of the West, is capitalism gone feral. It offers chaos, but a sliver of freedom. You can rebel, but you'll probably die. The system is loud, messy, and on the brink of collapse. Chongqing 2077 is the critique of the East. Techno-state capitalism, perfected. It offers perfect order, perfect stability, and the assurance of basic needs. But the price of entry is the total surrender of the inner self. The system is silent, efficient, and unbreakable. They are two sides of a single, terrible coin. Thus, they demonstrate the fundamental philosophical law of the cyberpunk universe. The specific flavor of the government is irrelevant. Whether the system collapses from chaos or wins through perfect order, the final result is the same. A machine built perfectly against the flawed, irrational, and deeply human soul. This is the challenge this city poses to the designers of the future. The real dystopia isn't the one you see. It's the one that works too well. China 2077 will never exist on a game map. And yet, in the chilling, perfect victory of the system, it already does.